Why won't these clients pay what I know this information is worth, right? Oh, I wasn't prepared to pay that. That costs too much. If you are getting all these calls and people are very, very reluctant to pay what you're worth, it's not necessarily a sales issue, it's something else. So if you want to know what the real reason people are not paying what you're worth, you're in luck because I'm going to reveal it right now. Hey, Courtney Sanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time 7-figure certified life and business coach, as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things. And one of the biggest questions that I get from aspiring coaches or even just consultants, industry experts, anyone who is trying to sell their knowledge online is why won't these clients pay what I know this information is worth, right? I know what I'm worth. I know how this could transform lives. Why are people playing me, okay? Why am I getting on my discovery calls or my sales calls and I'm hearing, oh, I wasn't prepared to pay that, that costs too much, oh, I don't know, I think I can, figure this out cheaper elsewhere, whatever. Understand that if you are getting those types of responses or those types of replies from your prospects, then that's not good, obviously, and something is wrong. But most people think it's like a sales strategy, like, ooh, I need to really dive into my sales script and like tweak my language. And while sales scripts are helpful, right? When I learned how to, go through a sales call, it really changed my life. But that said, it might not be the sales script. In fact, I think most of the time it's not the sales script. And I can say this because the majority of the people who get on calls with you should be already sold, right? They should be pre-sold, for lack of a better word. And the call is more of a formality to see, what the program entails, what would it look like to work with you? And, is this the right decision for them right now, right? But there really shouldn't be a lot of selling on the call. It really should be facilitation that's happening on the call. So if you are getting all these calls and people are very, very reluctant to pay what you're worth, it's not necessarily a sales issue, it's something else. So if you want to know what the real reason people are not paying what you're worth, you're in luck because I'm going to reveal it right now. All right, I haven't heard anybody talk about this, but this is so important. And I'm like, oh, people make this mistake all day. And then they wonder why they get all these prospects on the call who are like, not prepared to pay that. The reason why people don't want to pay your worth is because you have reversed your free and your paid content. Now hear me on this. You're like, wait, what? I even have a video around what should you give away for free? What should you give away paid? Most people, when they think of paid versus free content, they think in terms of like, oh, how much should I teach someone, right? Like maybe you've heard of the phrase, oh, don't teach, the how for free, like teach the what on social media and then, make them pay for the how. Here's the thing, in both your free and your paid content, you're gonna be sharing how, you're gonna be sharing what, like you're gonna be sharing both of those. What I mean by people have reversed their free and their paid content is that your free content is primarily around selling your philosophy and your paid content is around selling your methodology, okay? This is huge because if you focus on demonstrating to people, oh, I can get you XYZ result and this is how I do it and it's the best ever, but they have not first bought into your philosophy, you're gonna be in trouble. In other words, until they have bought into your philosophy, they will not pay for your methodology. That's a quotable, okay? Write that down and remember it because it is so true. That is the number one thing that you should be doing on social media is you should be selling your philosophy. What you think about things, what is your worldview? How are you approaching the subject? It's not just the onesie twosies, as I like to say it, or the, check the boxes, the steps 1, 2, 3, right? And so often we're taught, hey, you got to give a bunch of a free value away on social media and give them, a 5-step checklist for this and a 7-step for that. And, it becomes very robotic and mechanic. And understand that if you're giving your methodology away and you're like, oh, this is how you do this. And, if you want to learn how to do it more in depth, or the correct way to do it, get on a call with me and then we'll talk about my program where I can show you how. You might attract some people who are getting on calls with you, but you see they're not bought into you, right? It's one thing to get on a call with you, it's another thing to be bought into you, and they can't be bought into you if they're not bought into your philosophy. And so you do that by selling that on social media, right? That's the free thing that you give away. And notice I'm using the word sales on purpose. We often think that just because we're giving something away for free that we don't need to sell it. That is not true because free content actually is paid content because it requires your prospects to pay attention, okay? And sometimes attention is more costly oftentimes than our money, right? We often have less attention than we have dollars. And so you got to capture that attention and sell your philosophy in order to get their attention, get them really bought in. And once they're bought in, they will absolutely pay for your methodology because they've already bought into the philosophy. But there are so many, again, online entrepreneurs, industry experts, like this is a must do if you are selling your expertise. But even if you're not, even if you're selling a product, maybe you have a makeup line or you sell clothing or something, you need to be selling your philosophy. Again, where do you stand in this world? What do you believe in? What is your overall viewpoint? Get them bought into that and they will gladly pay for your methodology. And so I say people reverse free and paid content because they believe that, oh, the philosophical talk about like the why behind what I'm doing, why reserve that for my customers or once you're actually a client of mine. But what's important for me is to teach you the 1, 2, 3 steps, or to, again, give away that 5-step checklist, or, free 7 steps to blah, blah, blah. We think we have to put all of that focus on that in terms of our free content in order to stand out. But what happens is you end up drowning in a sea of everybody talking about their 7-step checklist or 5 ways to whatever, or free download on the top 3 mistakes that blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying any of those things are bad. I mean, I've used titles like that, but understand that most of my clients, when they come to me, it's not just, oh, okay, this methodology, she's gonna teach me how to do this thing. It's, okay, how she looks at this is what I'm resonating with. Her viewpoint, her mind, like how she is approaching this, that's what I'm attracted to. And because I'm already bought into that, now I'm bought into the philosophy. So that's the real reason why clients won't pay what you're worth. And that's the real reason why I focus so heavily on this in my signature coaching program, the Next Big Name Bootcamp. I mean, we dive into this. You've heard me say over and over again that your brand is so much bigger than your colors and your logos. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about branding. This is where we really help you identify what it is that you stand for and create a brand that really reflects it. And then we go into the sales, tactics or strategies, etc., in order to attract your ideal clients who will then ultimately want to work with you so that you can become the next big thing in your industry. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely click the link below in order to apply. And if accepted, you'll be invited to a call with my enrollment team who will then walk you through the entire process. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. If you loved it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you can't wait for my next YouTube video, make sure you're subscribed to my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, on both iTunes and Spotify. And if you can't wait for my next podcast episode or my next YouTube video, make sure you're following me on either Instagram or TikTok. It's CourtneyLSanders on both. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.